Alrighty guys, welcome back. We're watching Bakemonogatari episode 6. Got a new arc here, Suruga Monkey. So we are starting Suruga Monkey Part 1. Down in the description there's a Patreon link if you want the unedited version of the reaction with the picture and everything. Otherwise you can sync up your own copy with this if you want to, but we will be starting in 3, 2, 1. Beast. Like when they use like the real video and pictures. Very fancy stairs. Oh, Hachikuji. Are we gonna do this every time? Who? I'll have to take your word for it. Ooh. Or how long it's been since the last arc. I really don't think she's really a tsundere at all. Yeah. Honestly, I doubt it. Maybe. She's dodging. What? Literally. Someone's coming. The plane. Oh my god. Is it a coincidence? It seems like you ran straight to him. Oh yeah, we get a new opening. Because I always have to remember, other people can't see Hachikuji, so. Basketball. Hmm. Does she know Senjogahara? I assume so. Oh, wow. Looks good. Okay. A whole bunch of lilies. Those are normally symbolic for something specific. You know what? I really like this one. It's opening. Oh yeah. Oh. Okay. That I think I can get a lot more meaning from that opening. Very famous, huh? Ace of the basketball team. Hmm. He escaped. Yeah. What? Alright. He really thinks Aragi's awesome, I guess. Okay, okay. Anbaru. Interesting. What? No, I don't think that's it. Aragi, what are you doing, man? Come on. I don't think he would have read the section about the India IT industry anyway. I certainly have some thoughts that I'll talk about in the discussion, I suppose. I think it's that study group situation she might be interested in. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Okay. I certainly have some thoughts about where this could be going, I guess. Off she goes, alright. Is that just gonna be every single time? Hmm. I wonder if when he started dating Senjagahara was 3 days ago? You do seem pretty popular lately. I don't know. I don't think that's it. Hi, Hachikuji. I think this might be a matter of love, but not involving you. Already cleared the hardest character. Forces. He's writing. Okay. Writing the Gettysburg Address. Aragi, you gotta get it together. Come on. We're here to study. Whoa. What's your plan after that? There's normal things to think about. That was cute. Hmm. Hasn't thought much about his future, huh? Oh, jeez. Wouldn't be bad. Yeah, she is not a tsundere. Like, come on. Good question. The social construct. Hmm. You know, not unreasonable. Whoa. Oh yeah, Hanakawa mentioned it. The first episode. Hmm. No intention of going back. Oh. Hmm. True. That is true. Mm-hmm. Whoa. All right. Okay. Let's. Okay. All right. Listen. All right. Calm down, please. Oh. Yeah. Sure. I feel like that might not just have been her being crazy, and it might be specifically some kind of history her and Kumbaru have. Thank you. Very romantic. That's true. That is true. Okay. I mean, that's nice, I guess. Hmm. Okay, okay. Plus. Interesting. Okay. Huh. I really have some thoughts about stuff. Whoa. Oh, okay. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Just like everyone, right? Oof. Mm. Hmm. Okay. Hmm. I wonder if that's the full picture. I feel like from Cumber's perspective, it might not be. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Something like that. Hmm. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Well, I can imagine her almost just being like a reminder of the past for Senjagahara, you know? Oh, Hanakawa. Just sitting in a park? No, you aren't. You're sitting in the middle of a park in the middle of the night. Oh, beautiful. Asman. Hmm. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Yeah, the author. Hmm. Seems like they were much closer than Senjagahara might have insinuated. She likes that line, doesn't she? Hanakawa knows everything. Hmm, true. Hmm, I have to think about that, actually. Whoa. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, how close you're willing to let other people get to you, you know? Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah, I get what. Yeah. Hmm. Well, I guess. Is it normal to? Well, I don't know. We'll talk about Hanakawa in the discussion. Always has good advice, huh? Hmm. She lost. Hmm. Does she want? Hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. That's yeah. Once he gets it in his mind that he has to help someone, right? He can't stop. Ah. Oh. Hi there. The train's coming. Oh, okay. Yeah, why not? How good is that regeneration? It's a monster. Has the bandages around the arm. Oh, sound. Uh-huh, the arm. Yeah, he recognizes it too. Good. It's Conburu. Okay, that escalated quite a bit. Oh, hi. Oh, man, every time it always ends way before I think it's going to. Okay, I really gotta gather my thoughts and think about everything I want to talk about there. So, hmm, that is interesting though. That I don't know, huh? Lots of stuff to think about. they gave me they gave me answers to some of the stuff I was thinking about earlier, at least, so I won't have to like theorize pointlessly about it. um, that was I mean, as always, a good episode. Like, obviously, I mean, hmm. Sorry, I'm just thinking. Like, hmm. Seems like the whole theme of changing, changing as a person, certainly hasn't been dropped from the last arc, has it? But it seems, now it's about kind of about letting go of the past or not, or how much the past matters compared to your current situation, I suppose. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. It's not. What? I guess. Okay. A bunch of things that aren't things. The sure. True. No, I want a quiz. Was the question for the quiz no question mark? Because I guess I don't know. All right, I'll see you guys in the discussion. Alrighty, let's go through the episode. So, trying to think how I want to start this off. So, first of all, there's the opening, which I feel like I have gleaned some information from. Um, so the lilies, right? The white lilies. It's uh, a symbol for being a lesbian, right? Yuri in Japanese. Because I'm pretty sure that's like the same word for white lilies is Yuri. And especially with all of this, like Kanbaru reaching out. Let me turn to the volume. Kanbaru reaching out to try and reach Shinjogahara, and Shinjogahara killing her with scissors, like this is Kill la Kill. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say Kanbaru is into Shinjogahara. I'm curious if some of the stuff Shinjogahara said in this episode makes me wonder if it is purely that Kanbaru is just interested in her, or if they had a previous relationship, even. I think that would make sense to me. Either way, I gotta close Discord. I keep looking at it. I think that would make sense to me either way, but I don't know. I can't decide because some of the stuff Shinjogahara said, like when she said she's never broken up with it. Wow, I clicked on that perfectly. When she says I've never broken up with a guy before, that's such a specific. I'm gonna change the subtitles and see if all of them say it that way. Um, yeah, I've never broken up with a boy before. So I assume specifically she says, I've never broken up with a guy before, which is a very specific way to say that, which makes me think, okay, what about not a guy? And she says, like, what did she say? She said, outside of outside of the outside of sports, they what did she say? Said they had some interaction, and then she get this face, which I think is interesting. And then outside of club activities in her private life, she imposed on her and looked after her, which I don't know. I'm Kanbaru the lesbian and is interested in Shinjogahara. Shinjogahara saying all of this stuff and saying this just makes me think it's possible they had a previous relationship. Um, Especially with the theme here. This some of the stuff Shinjogahara says about how she has no intention of going back to the way she was before, right? Which makes sense in terms of we're continuing this theme of people and things changing. And she says she has no intention of going back to the way she was before, which obviously, in terms of like going back to the way she was before, like acting the way that she did in like the first episode, right? Which was obviously very negative for her, right? And it's like if Kanbaru here is kind of a reminder for her of her past and the way she used to act, because like she keeps saying Kanbaru's annoying, which sure you can say it like that, um, but it's like I can imagine how Kanbaru for Shinjogahara could just be a reminder of the past and just a reminder of the way she used to be, and it would make sense why she would want to distance herself from her, right? Um, because I guess I'm curious, right? If they had a close relationship, because there's this whole Valhalla combo thing, right? That Hanakawa tells Aragi about. So obviously they had a very close relationship of some kind, even if they weren't like dating or in a romantic relationship, which I'm thinking they probably were. Um, then, but even if they weren't, they had a very close relationship, and Kanbaru discovered Shinjogahara's secret at some point, which for one makes me wonder about the timeline. It makes me wonder when Shinjogahara lost her weight exactly. They mentioned it at some point. Did they say it happened when she entered high school, out of middle school? I think they did. So I think they had a close relationship before Shinjogahara had the problem with losing her weight and all that stuff happened. And then at some point Kanbaru discovered her issue, and that's when their kind of relationship was broken up. I'm not specifically saying they were like dating that entire time, but that's when Shinjogahara pushed Kanbaru away, just like she tried to with Aragi. Um, so I mean, Kanbaru acting as a reminder of Shinjogahara's past, uh, and that's why Shinjogahara doesn't want anything to do with her. I think that's why Shinjogahara has this extreme reaction to Aragi mentioning her, because I don't think it's just her being like a crazy person. She's acting like a lunatic about it. I mean, it's funny, but I don't think that's really what. I don't think that's why. Um, she does this. I think it's specifically because it's Kanbaru and because he's bringing up Kanbaru. I think because like Shinjogahara doesn't have any problem with Aragi bringing up Hanakawa, for example. I assume. I mean, she did have that weird thing in the last arc, like talking about how she could smell that Hanakawa had been here. But it seems like Shinjogahara doesn't have a problem with Aragi having some form of friendship with Hanakawa, right? So I think this is specifically because it's Kanbaru, and she doesn't want it's like for Shinjogahara, it's like she wants to forget the past, and Kanbaru could be seen as a representation of that, you know. And I guess that's kind of like the theme of the arc in a way, is whether or not you should forget the past. Because Senjogahara really wants to talk about the future, right? She brings up the future early on in the episode. And where is that? I guess it wasn't as early on as I thought. But yeah, she wants to, you know, she just wants to talk about the future, which is fine. That's a, you know, Aragi says he hasn't really thought about his future much, which you could extrapolate some things from that. Maybe I'll talk about it if it comes back up. I'll make sure to keep that fact in mind, that he hasn't thought about the future much, I suppose. But yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I guess that's just the setup for this about forgetting about the past in a way. I mean, maybe not specifically forgetting about it, but whether or not the past matters, right? Hanakawa brings that up about how she doesn't think Araragi should be so focused on what Senjogahara used to be like, because he likes the way she is now. Which, yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. Like, I feel like someone's past shouldn't be something that you should focus on so much that it would be, well, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting, I suppose. I don't know. I guess it's hard for me to really draw like a hard conclusion on that. um, and then it is interesting. It's more stuff with Hanakawa talking about Senjogahara, um, in a way that you could, just like in the past arc, you could take it to be like Hanakawa maybe not really being jealous of Senjogahara, but like maybe, right? Because to be fair, it does seem like her and Aragi, we don't really know the extent of their relationship beforehand, but it seems like she was kind of Aragi's like only friend, right? Because we haven't seen a single friend of his that predates that first episode where it was Hanakawa and Aragi talking in the classroom, right? And it seemed like she knows him pretty well when she was like, oh, you know, it's unlike you to be so interested in other people, and they know each other well enough that Aragi is just calling her randomly for advice with, with random situations, you know? So to me, it does kind of read like jealousy. Maybe not in a romantic sense, but maybe. But perhaps just in a sense of, you know, he's not hanging out with her as much in a way, you know, ever since Senjogahara showed up. And then it's also just Hanakawa just kind of wandering around in the middle of the night, which I hope, I mean, it might just be more of the same thing about how she doesn't want to be home. If her family problems are really that bad that she's wandering around in the middle of an empty park in the middle of the night, that makes me really feel bad for her. I guess I don't know what else it would be other than that, but that's just really sad, I guess. I mean, and she lies to him. She says that she's just doing some studying, when no, she's just sitting in the park doing nothing. Because I have to assume because she doesn't want to be home, which is sad. I wonder if we'll delve into that. I assume we'll delve into that eventually, but yeah, so we got some more Hanakawa. We don't get much of her, but it has been interesting the amount that we have gotten, I suppose. And she just kind of served this role as just giving Aragi advice on things and just being really nice and awesome. And her own problems that she's obviously having haven't been addressed in any way. Which it's interesting, right? Because Araragi has this crazy thing about wanting to help and save people, but it's interesting how that seems like that hasn't really extended to Hanakawa. Well, no, I guess it kind of did, because we know predating what we've seen, at some point he helped her with the cat issue, right? What Oshino said was the nymphomaniac cat that attacked her. So I guess at some point he did help her, but it seems like she certainly has some problems that expand beyond whatever he's helped her with, you know? Um, Which is just interesting, because right after this, it's Aragi talking about how, you know, it's he's back on this helping thing, you know. It's Senjogahara is the focus of it right now, you know. He wants to bring back what she lost, what she threw away. It's like Aragi, I guess, sees great value in the past and how things used to be. Even for her, even though, you know, she explicitly said she has no intention of returning to the past. He is literally saying that he has to do it. That he wants to bring back what she lost, what she threw away. Which I guess in this case is just he wants her and Kombaru to reconnect, I suppose. Because that is sad, right? That is sad. If Kombaru's reason for chasing down Aragi every day is just because he's dating Senjugahara now, so she's still that hung up on it. I guess I can see how he would be very sympathetic to her. I mean, I feel sympathy for her, right? In terms of her relationship with Senjugahara, you know. And yeah, and it's like here he brings it up himself. It's like he is self-aware of it, about how what he's doing here could be seen to be bothersome, and he's meddling in people's business, but he can't stop thinking. It's his whole saving people thing is just this habitual thing that he can't stop himself from feeling like he has to do it, you know. And that brings me to this. It's not possible for him to stop. That brings me to this, where Kombaru attacks him and tries to kill him. So in this case, you know, Kombaru attacks him and tries to kill him. So if we're viewing this with Kombaru has romantic feelings for Senjugahara, Aragi's now dating her. If in Kombaru's mind, for one, there's obviously some kind of weird supernatural stuff going on here that has turned her into this weird, like, monster with incredible strength, right? Which I'm assuming is related to the arm that's all bandaged up, you know. But she attacks Aragi and tries to kill him, like pretty clearly. If he wasn't like a vampire with extreme regeneration, also rip bike, he goes flying. If he wasn't a vampire with crazy regeneration, he would have died here, you know. So she literally tries to kill him. And so with that in mind, if we're thinking about it like this, that's Aragi really wants to help Senjugahara and Kombaru right now. But the problem is the obstacle to him helping both of those situations is him. At least in Kombaru's mind, it's him, you know. That if he is here, if he's dating Senjugahara, he wants to kill him, you know, and get him out of the way. Then what will his response to that be, right? Because we set it up right before the scene where she comes to attack him, that it's not possible for him to stop, that he feels like he has to help people and he can't help it, he has to do it. But in this case, the obstacle, the thing that's preventing someone from getting the help they need, or the thing that's their issue that he wants to help them with, he is the obstacle that is in the way of that, right? So in that case, is he still going to try and help Kombaru in some way after she tries to kill him, and it's him that is the issue that's is in the way of helping her, you know? What would his response to that be? How would he help her in that situation, you know? Which I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see, right? And it's like, man, it's so interesting because it's just we have two separate things here. We have the character meaning behind all of these scenes and what it means for the characters and what their reaction to all of this will be. And we have like the greater like narrative of that's set up at the beginning here of like change and letting go of the past or not, you know. It's just there's just so many layers to it that you have to think about so much. Because in this case, you could say this is almost a situation where for Kombaru and Aragi, for Kombaru, she's really not trying to give up on the past, right? You could say the Senjugahara stuff happened a long time ago, you know? I mean, at least it's been over ever since Senjugahara entered high school, and that was 3 years ago, you know? And Kombaru is still very much hung up on it, you know? So I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different characters that seem to have a lot of different stances on being hung up on the past or not, and how much the past means to them, I guess. And I guess I'm interested to see how it will be resolved, or what will be said about it. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to say about that. Because I guess that's just, you know, that's my interpretation of this. Why she's just trying to talk to Aragi so much is just, well, I don't know. I guess I do wonder. It's just, I assume she knows they're dating. So I guess I wonder what her goal is in trying to come here and talk to him so much. Because she doesn't bring up Senjugahara, and she doesn't, you know, she doesn't say anything about it. She she asks Aragi some inane questions about Russia and India. Doesn't say anything important really, and then just leaves. So I don't know. I do wonder, I guess, why she's talking to uh Aragi, you know? I wonder how much the arm. I'm assuming the arm is the gonna be somewhat the supernatural element here, right? Because it was all wrapped up. Right now, it's all wrapped up. It's acting normal, and then it's all unwrapped. There's the wraps hanging down, and that's when she's the monster that tries to kill Aragi. I wonder how much of that is gonna be said to be caused by this weird supernatural stuff, or how much of it is just her and her doing this, you know? Hmm. Anything else? Is there anything I'm missing here? And like her, I don't know. I don't know. She's like compliments him in this really bizarre way and acts like he's like amazing and awesome and cool. I don't really know what that's all about. um, I don't know. I don't know. I wonder. I guess we'll just see because we've only seen this one interaction between them. I assume we'll get more. So, I don't know. And the interesting part as well is that Araragi also knows it's Kanbaru, right? They specifically showed us that he looked at her arm and he thought about the arm and he knows this is Kanbaru that attacked him. So I assume, first of all, knowing Araragi, his first thing that he's going to want to do is help her, right? He wants to help her with this situation. Which, yeah, just goes back to the same thing I was talking about how the problem is the obstacle is him. You know, the obstacle is him in this case. Yeah, and there's the conversation with Hajikuji at the start, which I don't think there's much I wanted to talk about. I think it's just cool that they have this, I don't know, relationship, I suppose. He just gets to talk to her about his problems and stuff. I don't know. um, it's interesting, right? About how for Hajikuji, it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, it is interesting that Hajikuji. I assume Hajikuji, or I guess we don't know. I was gonna say I assume Hajikuji is still invisible to everyone. Uh, but she said she was like promoted or whatever. But I don't know. Is she still the same kind of like entity where you can only see her if you're lost? Because for Kanbaru, I assume Kanbaru couldn't see Hajikuji here, right? That would be weird. She didn't say anything about the little girl that was standing right next to him. So I assume Kanbaru couldn't see Hajikuji still. So I do wonder. It makes me wonder if for Hajikuji, Aragi's like the only guy she gets to hang out with, you know? Probably, right? um I don't know. I like the dynamic here, right? It's like Aragi has like invisible person that he can just talk to and say anything to. And he doesn't have to worry about anything because no one else can see her, or almost no one else can see her. Like Hanakawa can, but you know, it's just interesting. He can be very open with Hajikuji and, you know, say whatever he wants to her. Act however he wants with her. Like this really, he acts in a much more different way with her than anyone else, you know? Like when he beats her up and they have their you know, um, it's very different than the way he acts with anyone else because he can be so open with her because she's invisible, you know? Because she's a child, right? And you can be more open with children. Like, I mean, you know, because it's like, you don't have to worry about this weird, like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it makes sense to me in a way. Like she's not actually a child in a way because she's existed for however many years since she died, but she's a child and he doesn't have to worry about keeping up like the same social standings he does with other like people his age or something, you know. It's like you can be more open with her cuz she's invisible, she's a child, no one else can see her. um yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting dynamic, I guess. It is interesting. I guess that's all I have to say about that. Um, trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. I think that's about it. Is any scenes or anything? No, guess we're good. Um, so far from what we've seen of Sindrigahara and Arai's relationship, it's pretty cute, I guess. um, you know, Sindrigahara's kind of carrying it. I don't know, not to be mean to Araki. Yeah, I guess that's it. Um, oh, I gotta read the things at the start. Gotta read the things at the start. I almost forgot. Here, I feel like I caught like most of them. I did pretty good. Not gonna lie. Come on. Is it not going? My frame by frame just not working? Hello? There we go. Okay. Remember, Suruga is such a famous person that there isn't a single person in the school who doesn't know about her, so of course I had heard her name many times. Ooh. I can't tell how long these are. Okay. No, in Suruga, I don't know why it's backwards there. No, in Kambaru Suruga's case, it'd be better to call her a star instead of famous person, because it'd describe her nuance better. Kambaru Suruga is the ace of the basketball team. As a freshman, she became a regular in no time, and with her guidance, a girls' basketball team you'd be embarrassed even to call pathetic losers suddenly made it to nationals. How bad do you have to be to... Okay. She became surrounded with a monstrous legend, so it's weird not to call her a star. It is not because she's very tall. She is a figure of an ordinary high school girl. Moreover, she is a bit short and slim. Ooh, graceful is what you'd say. But Kambaru Suruga jumps. Last year, just once, I went with some acquaintances to a game that Kambaru Suruga participated. She pierced, no, crushed her opponent's defense and easily finished her drive with a dunk shot, just like in that shonen manga popular all over Japan. With ease and balance, with a slight smile of a sporty girl, as if in a very good mood, time and time again. Of course, she doesn't know me. She doesn't have any reason to. Well, now she does. Oh, there it is. In the end, that's what I thought. That's what I was sure about. Well, you were wrong. I'm trying to think if there's any basketball analogies here now, man. Like, oh god. The fact that Kambaru plays sports, I feel like there has to be some meaning behind that. Maybe it'll be clear to me at some point. It's the first episode. I don't need to go crazy, I guess. There has to be some meaning behind it, though. I'm, like, positive. But, I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out together. I'm sure we'll get it. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe maybe if you liked it. I don't know. I'm trying to reach 100 subs. That's the goal. Who knows? Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next one.